And now that agent is no longer in the business, probably because of that mentality. Today, we are taking it back to the basics, back to the beginning, I guess you could say. And we are answering a question that we get asked often on this channel. And that is tips for succeeding or making it work even as a young real estate agent. I have a pretty good handful of tips for you guys today. All of these are things that I would consider very important. They are not necessarily in the order of importance. So be sure to stay tuned until the very end today. You are not going to want to miss anything in today's video. If you're new here, welcome. My name's Mariah. I got my real estate license when I was 18, right out of high school. And now my husband, Spencer, and I run a top producing real estate team here in Oregon. If you're a real estate agent outside of the state of Oregon and you have a client relocating to Oregon, send them my way. I would love to give you a referral fee. My hope is that today's video just feels like you are sitting across the table from me, having coffee, friend to friend. I have my chai tea. Grab your beverage of choice and let's get into it. Okay, so my first piece of advice for succeeding as a young real estate agent is don't be picky. When I got my real estate license when I was 18, let me just think back in my brain to that time in my life. It took me about a month before I got my first listing. And this listing was a for sale by owner. It was a stick-built home. It was a decent home, like decently, it wasn't a luxury home by any means, but it was like a decent home, I guess you could say, for my area. I felt like it was a nice house to be selling for my first house. I drove to the seller's house, knocked on their door. They said they would never list with a realtor, but I know that no doesn't mean no. It means not yet. So I just kept going and kept showing up at their door, sending them mail, dropping off things at their door, calling, like all of the things, badgering them basically until they just decided this girl's not going away. I'm going to list my house with her. So I was very persistent, got that first listing. Then it took me a couple months before I got my next listing. And this is like a lot of real estate agents though, when they first start out, it takes longer than a month to get your first listing. Just a little perspective if you're new to the business. So it took me a few months to get my next listing. And I realized these stick-built homes are definitely harder for me to convert than manufactured homes. And so I kind of on accident became a manufactured home specialist. I would still sell stick-built homes, but like 99% of my listings, and I was very listing heavy for the first couple years in my business. Like I said, I started when I was 18, were manufactured homes. And I listed a lot of manufactured homes. I was very, very, consistent with my listings. They were pretty much all for sale by owners. And I was able to make a good living for myself as a, 18, 19, 20-year-old selling manufactured homes. And some of these manufactured homes, like one of them I remember in particular, and this is all, you might be like, why are you talking about this? This is all going to tie together. So stay with me here. One of these manufactured homes was a $5,000 manufactured home. I got super made fun of in my office for selling these listings. The commission was so low, but the experience was invaluable. And there was another young agent at the time, and he was making fun of me for selling mobile homes, was saying I wouldn't touch the homes that you are selling. Like basically his whole reasoning was he was like, you're not getting paid enough. You are doing all this work to list this manufactured home, and then your paycheck is so small, it's not worth it. But to me, I knew that I'm working for the experience, and yes, I have to sell more of them to make, a decent living, but I was in it for the long run. And so I just didn't understand his thinking. Now, that agent is no longer in the business, probably because of that mentality that he had. And I sell houses that are well over the average sale price in our area, higher for the most part. I sell obviously everything, but my, average commission is higher than what the average agent in our area is selling, is what I'm trying to say. So that's how I started out. But I know in our area where I'm at, real estate agents do not work with leases, but I know in a lot of markets, maybe you can't sell mobile homes or you don't have that in your market or whatever, but like maybe you have leases and you can start out doing leases. I think that that's something that I would really compare to this in a way, where a lot of agents starting out in bigger cities, for example, where you can work with lease properties, you maybe don't want to touch those, just like a lot of agents didn't want to touch the mobile homes I was working with, but those leases can turn into buyers eventually. And my whole point in saying all of this is, in real estate, if you're young, you really have to think about it as a long-term business. It is definitely a marathon and not a sprint. And any business that you're able to get being young, you need to think of it as like, anything I get is a blessing. Like, you really can't have that entitled mindset if you're young and new in real estate. For me, I'm so thankful that I went on so many, like hundreds of listing appointments for these extremely low priced mobile homes. I'm so thankful that I did that, because those gave me the confidence to, a couple years later, start going on listing appointments for nicer houses. And because I had that track record of, I actually got the job done and I sold manufactured homes for the clients, and it worked out, and I was able to take that experience and use it for stick-built homes. And then I had the confidence when I walked into a, much higher priced home. I was able to have confidence because I had practice. And so I think of those like mobile homes as like the practice, I guess you could say. And while I was practicing, I was able to still make a living. I just had to work a lot more than I do now to make the same amount of money. Think of the first few years as an internship and learn as much as you can. If you get your real estate license when you're 18, for example, you'll already be a few years in by the time you would be graduating from college, or your peers are graduating from college. I remember, because I did this, I was already making more money by the time the kids that were my age graduated college. I was already making more money by that time than I probably would have ever made with my college degree, that, if I were to go get one. My next piece of advice is say no to people who are trying to take your money. When you're young, and this applies to probably any new real estate agent, but when you're young, I think I don't know. I know I was a lot more gullible. I never heard of any of these things, and I don't know, different ideas were more exciting to me, I guess you could say. But say no to people trying to take your money. What I mean by this is, you're going to get a lot of people calling you, trying to get you to buy this and advertise here. There are so many places that you could put your money as a real estate agent. At the end of the day, there is no easy route. There's no way you can just spend money here and have endless good quality leads coming in. It sounds nice to just pay someone a few $1,000s a month and get a return on it from your clients. And I've tried that. I've tried just about every platform that you can think of or way to buy leads, buy business. I've tried so many different things, and there's no reason to be chasing those leads when there are so many ways to get consistent, great to work with clients for free. So if you want more information on that, head over to my channel. I basically share all of my secrets, everything I've done personally that has worked for me. I'm in no way trying to be a real estate coach. That's definitely not a goal that I have or an intention. I really just love talking about real estate. I love talking to real estate agents in person, over Zoom. It's something I do often and really enjoy. And of course, over YouTube. I share what has actually worked for me firsthand. There are so many ways to get clients, but don't fall for the distractions and the places that want you to put your money towards them. I don't know. I'm thinking back. I have so many memories of spending way too much time on the phone with people and just listening to their pitches, and they make them sound so good. Like, they really make them sound like they're actually going to really benefit your business. But at the end of the day, there is no magic thing that you can just buy. Like, you can buy these leads and maybe you'll get a return, but you're going to be working way harder for that return because they're the worst quality leads ever than you would if you would just be consistent and disciplined and in ways that will actually bring you business like I said, I've talked about before on my channel. The next thing we will talk about is how to be taken seriously when you are a new real estate agent, or when you are a young real estate agent, but also when you're a new real estate agent. Okay, so this is something that I have really evolved in, and I guess you could say just learned a lot about over the years. Be over prepared. Just be so good at, do such a good job for your clients that they can't complain about or question your age. Another thing is, when I was newer, my clients always assumed that I was older than I was. I remember when I was 18, I was told to dress like I'm 30, which at the time I thought was like such an old hag. I couldn't imagine dressing like a 30-year-old. Now I'm 26, and it's kind of like insulting to me to think back that I thought that about someone that was 30. As far as getting taken seriously goes, though, I think my biggest pieces of advice would be dress the part, dress professionally, have your makeup and hair done in a way to where you don't look like a baby. And at the end of the day, though, if you are extremely professional, you're early to your appointments, you're over prepared for your appointments, and you are like on point with your communication, your systems and everything, then there's no reason that people won't want to work with you. It might take you a little bit longer to get your foot in the door, to start getting consistent clients, but at the end of the day, I think that really does push past the you're too young. If you sound like you know what you're talking about, then the clients are probably going to believe you. Okay, my next tip, this is really important, is you have to think long-term. This is whether you're young or any age. If you're in real estate, you cannot think of it as a get rich quick or I'm in it for a short amount of time. Like, if you're in real estate to make some money for a few years and then you're going to hop onto something else, then this might not be the thing for you. You really have to have long-term vision for your business, because anything that you do in this business, any form of prospecting or any form of marketing or getting business that you do, is going to take you so much longer to start seeing results than what you might think. This is a big thing that I think people don't understand about real estate. I was just having this conversation with my husband. We were talking about sending mailers to a specific neighborhood. And we were talking about how if we're going to decide to do this, we need to commit to it for 5 years, or it is a waste of time. We cannot just decide to send mailers to this neighborhood for 1 year and then quit after a year, because if you do, that's the biggest waste of money that you could do. Anything in real estate, I truly believe, is like that. And I'm not saying that in order to get a return, it's gonna take you 5 years of sending mail and you'll never see anything from it. Like, that's not necessarily what I'm saying, but you really have to have that, I'm in this for the very long run vision. Because the thing is, with real estate, you are gonna have to be okay with putting in the work and doing the things that are going to be bringing you business eventually without seeing any results yet. And it can get super discouraging. It can get really, really hard, but you have to have that faith and just know that I'm doing the right things. If I stay consistent for long enough and continue to improve my skills as I go over time, then it will pay off. For me, when I was a newer agent, like I said, I started out working with for sale by owners, because that's the fastest, quickest way to get business. They're people that are already trying to sell their home. They're putting their phone number out there for you to call them. And yes, it's really competitive. A ton of other agents are calling them, but it's a lot easier than just door knocking random houses. You're a lot more likely to get a listing. What I would always do is go back to, okay, what have I been doing that's working? Where have my clients been coming from? What has been working for me? And then I go out and do more of that. And that's always really how I've run my business. I did that with for sale by owners, and that's why I stuck with for sale by owners so long, because it's what was working. And so I just said, I know I've seen the results, so I know it can work. Now, even if I'm not seeing results for a while, I'm going to just put all my efforts into figuring out how to do it better and more of it so that I can get results quicker, if that makes sense. And then that's how kind of my business pivoted to video marketing. Is I started looking at, okay, what's been giving me the best results now? And it has been video marketing, relocation clients, that type of thing. So that's really like the fuel, I guess you could say, for why I do what I do in my prospecting, is like looking back at like, where have my best clients that I've ever gotten come from? Okay, I'm going to do more of that, and I'm going to just continue to figure out how I can do that better. I think that the number one quality that you have to have if you're going to succeed in real estate at a young age is you need to have a extreme determination and ability to keep going and not quit, and have that discipline to do the boring things consistently that will bring you success. Because a lot of these things that are going to bring you business, it's not necessarily fun. It kind of gets boring. It kind of gets mundane. I know for like, you maybe won't feel like making your calls one week, or you won't be seeing results, so you'll want to quit. Or for us, like, we definitely have weeks where we're like, I don't feel like getting on camera. I don't feel like making a video. I don't even know what to talk about this week, but we know like this is where our business comes from. And so we have to just keep doing it whether we feel like it or not. So I guess that tip could be, don't let your feelings determine what you're going to do and how you're going to spend your time. You have to be able to decide that and have the discipline to consistently every single week do the prospecting or marketing things that are going to bring you business. It really takes a lot of discipline, because it's hard to show up and, let's say your business is coming from door knocking. Like, it's hard to show up and go door knocking every week when nobody's telling you that you have to. You don't have a boss telling you that you have to, and you make your own schedule. There's so many other things you could do with your time. Like, you really have to be like disciplined. Last tip is join the right brokerage. If you're young, I think that using technology to your advantage is so important and can just set you apart from other agents so much. There are so many really great brokerages out there. So you really got to do your research, go with your gut. But I know personally, the brokerage that I am with, Real Brokerage, it's the fastest growing real estate brokerage in the country. And one thing that I really love about it is the fact that it is the most technologically, is that the right word? Advanced brokerage. The things that we're able to do for our business it's crazy. The AI we're able to use, it's just like phenomenal and mind blowing. And I think that, if you're young and you want to use technology in general, but also like video marketing, social media marketing, like Real Broker is a brokerage that you definitely need to know about. I have a whole playlist on my channel talking all about Real Broker. So if you want more information about it, head over there. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button. It really helps give me the ability to continue to come on here and give you guys free value every single week. I will see you guys next week.